the 25th of April, and they said we was having frost coming in. What frost? Only kidding, it's absolutely freezing. Time is starting to move on a bit now, and this little cold snap has thrown the planting plans a little bit into turmoil. Originally this week I was hoping to get the main crop potatoes into the ground, bore the holes for the parsnips, and also get the brassica bed sorted. Although the sun's shining, it's a bit deceptive because the wind chill factor, it's really biting cold. And so one thing what I want to do in preparation of this now is get some nice sifted soil ready for when I do get the parsnips ready to go in. And I think I'm going to go down there, find a nice spot in the sunshine and do a bit of sifting. For those of you not familiar with this is something I mentioned, I think it's about 2 years ago actually, and a couple of people on the plot actually purchased them. I didn't, but I've been fortunate to be able to borrow one. I think Sean Cameron also bought one as well. It's called a rotary soil sieve, and it's a real simple contraption but very effective. It's got a sieve in the bottom with a handle which you spin round and a paddle, and it just then lets the soil drop through the grid into whatever container you like. It fits just nicely into my large trug, so I'll just put a few shovelfuls of soil in and away we go. I refer to this machine as the Hurdy Gurdy. It's a poor man's trommel really. As you will see, that's a lovely bit of sieve compost now, and that's good enough for any carrot or parsnip sowing. But equally, most important as well, is that, as you know, I've got a new found friend now in the multi-purpose compost, being the clover. And so considering I've filled this about 3 or 4 times possibly, this is all the residue what's left. Now, going on past experience of other people's compost, I'm sure there'd have been a lot more debris left in there. So that's from the clover compost, and I'm very impressed with that. After that glorious sunshine, I'm not sure you can see this, but it's actually snowing now. Morning folks, it's the 2nd of May, and if the weatherman's to be believed, we're in for a few good days. So the last week or so we've had mixed weather, some really cold nights, and the last day or two we've had some most welcome rain. It's amazing how the plants have come on with the rain, and something with the rain, there's nothing you can replicate with tap water or nothing. The plants just thrive on it, and you can see that the way they've come on. I'll just show you a few things. These are the swift early potatoes in the buckets, and these really need to go out. They'll be definitely going outside this week. Looking a quick along the top here is the shallots, the heat-treated onion sets, not the shallots. And most of them have struck. I think there's 144 and there's about 2 or 3 not showing yet. Moving on there, we've got the sweet corn that's just starting to poke its little head up. The mussel butter leeks, them are nice. Carrots, not doing too good actually, but we'll leave them to it. There's my sunflowers for the Giant Sunflower Challenge. They're getting a bit droopy, I think they need a bit of water. So we've actually got some flower there on the old Cosmos. And there's a few of the dahlias showing a few stalks. And so it's amazing, this warm weather has really brought the plants on. Broad beans, the Bunyard's exhibition. I'm putting a bit of height on now. I've taken the cover off now, and I'll let that rain go in and give the ground a good soaking, which will obviously do them quite well. I can see a noticeable difference in the peas since they've been unleashed, and I'm starting to cling onto the mesh now. I don't know if you can see it, I've got a bit of enviro mesh over at the moment until I sort some proper net out. These are the first early, sorry, not the first early, these are the Charlotte potatoes. And I had these under black cover while we had the few nights of frost, but when I lifted the cover off, a few of them had come up and started, compressed themselves a little bit. But so I've just ridged them up a little bit. I think that's all I will be doing, since I did plant them quite deep. So in the meantime, another job for this week is in the valleys. I'll be putting horse manure in between the valleys and just let the rain wash that in as a bit of nutrient for as the potatoes start growing. This is the French breakfast radish that I planted in that strawberry mushroom case, whatever it is. And you say them are bounding along now. A couple of pallet collars that I'd lashed together with a bit of glass on top to act as a temporary cowl frame. And as you can see, the brassicas are starting to do well now. Them are sprouts. These ones in here, which are a bit smaller, are swede. I've got some sweet peas there, and I think these are more swede in here as well. Also, pleased to report every one of the asparagus plants has poked its head up. I've had about 12 stalks off this, and I probably might have one or two more, but that's about it. I'm just going to let the rest of this go to seed now. So this is the second year, and hopefully next year we're in for a bounty crop. I've just spent the last half hour backwards and forwards to the tap of the watering can, watering the two greenhouses, and but it's a bit of a bind, but I don't mind because I know that the season is well underway. The plan for today now is to get the beds ready, hopefully, and get the main crop potatoes of Sarpo Mira in the other two beds. But first of all, I've got to clear them. These are the two beds where the sarpos will be going. And as you can see, mentioned earlier, I've got this temporary cold frame. That bed on the end there is where a bit of salad stuff will be going, but that won't be going in yet. So I'm going to build a couple of, well, transport this cold frame across, knock another one up, and probably put some brassicas in there in trays just to harden them off, ready for the next few weeks before they go out. Shorts on, sun hat on, sunscreen on, time to get moving. Sarpo Mira, and as you can see, they're more than ready to go out into the ground now. Oh, we've had quite a decent day, although there's been a few people down the plot today, so they haven't done much filming. What we did get done, I'll just show you, but the weather, the sun's been out, then it's been dull, we've had a few spots of rain and back out again, so it's been a bit mixed. Well, I'll just show you what we've done. That's a couple of temporary cowl frames that I've built. During the day I've had the enviro mesh across the top to let the air in, obviously, but to keep the pigeons and that out. But because the temperature is still not sure at night, I've just popped these bits of glass on, although there's plenty of ventilation going around the outside. And I don't know if you'll be able to see in there at the moment. Now, I'll show you in them tomorrow when the covers are off. There's my radishes, there's the sweet peas I've put. What I've done today is this middle bed here. I've planted 4 rows of Sarpo Mira, which is the main crop, and there's another 4. Hopefully tomorrow, weather permitting, are going to go in here. There's 6 in a row, as you can see the markers along the bottom of my pots. That's what I've used to mark each row. 6 tubers in one row, then 4 rows. I have put 6X in the bottom, and also some fast growth fertiliser. So that's the sarpos in there, and say hopefully tomorrow we'll see what we can do with this one. Morning all, looks like another nice day, although the sun hasn't quite come up yet, it's still a bit chilly. I'll just talk you through what the plan is for today, and we'll go from there. As I mentioned yesterday, the 4 rows of Sarpo Mira in there, and there's another 4 rows got to go in here. If you'll notice, the soil level's not as high as the second bed. This is because the parsnips was in this bed and we didn't have time to manure it. So the plan is to put the potatoes in not so deep as that bed, and then I'm going to top up with manure on the top. Part of this bed here is where I'm going to be sowing my parsnips. I might have mentioned earlier that I'm not growing so many this year. I'll probably only grow about 18. And I've just run the mantis across the half of it, and as you can see, the soil is a really fine tilth. The soil's a bit too dry at the moment, because I can tell when I put the mantis across it, the tines don't clog, so it's just below the surface, it's still quite dry. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a few cans of water on, let that soak in, then ready for when I bore the holes, otherwise the holes will collapse. I've watered the bed and I put 18 little pilot holes in the top, and that's where I'm going to be boring my main holes for the parsnips. This is the pipe that I use for boring the holes. It's a steel tube, as you can see. It's quite hefty, and I put a red piece of tape there. That's just to indicate the depth I need to get down to, and knock it down to that depth, rotate it to form the cone, then put the sifted soil in. It's a bit windy out here, so I probably won't leave the sound on. I might put a bit of music over this, but you watch what I can do, you can get the idea. That's the first 6 holes bored, and what I intend to do now is to put the sifted compost into the holes, and it helps them stop them collapsing when I bore the other holes with the posts. You may recall from a few clips earlier, this is the soil here that I sifted through the Hurdy Gurdy. It's like powder, the soil is. So all that's left now to do is fill the hole in, and just get a scoop and put it into the hole. It's important that as you put it into the hole, you keep prodding it down to make sure that the soil reaches all of the bottom completely, otherwise it will sink later on. Then all that's left then to do is to sow the seed. So all that's left now is to put the old faithful collars on. It only seems like, well, it was actually 4 or 5 weeks ago that I was fetching these off, and I must remember to take them off in time this time to stop the parsnip growing through. Anyway, here goes. don't know how well you'll see this because there's a bit of contrast with the live sun. But there's 18 owls there, nearly said 16. 18 owls there with the collars on. I've given the bed a really good soaking so that the sifted compost now should be wet all the way down to the bottom. What I'll do now is sow probably 3 to 5 seeds in each compartment and just cover with sifted soil and a bit of vermiculite on the top, and that job's a good one. So that's typically what one of the collars looks like with the seed sown. Hopefully if more than one germinates, I'll wait till about an inch or so high, and then what I do is cut them off at the soil, the ones I don't want, rather than trying to pull them out and risk disturbing the roots of the one I want to keep. I might just put a bit of fleece over the top of these for a week or so just to keep the cold nights off and hopefully aid a bit more germination. Well, that's the parsnips done and dusted. I mean, now we've got the onion bed and the brassica bed to sort out, but unfortunately we've run out of time, so we'll save that till the next episode. Until then, I'll see you later. Bye for now.